Hello, thank you for choosing to listen to Number One Rerun. We are Zoe and Carla, and each episode we get pop culture nostalgic after asking the listeners one simple question. Give us a date.
That's right, and this week we are heading to the 11th of May 2000. Let's go. Hello Zoe.
Hello, Carla.
As we just said, this week we are discussing the 11th of May 2000. That's a nice modern one for us, isn't it?
A nice modern one. It is.
It's only, how many years ago is that? Only 18.
I know, see, there are adults that were born in that year.
It's mad, isn't it?
That's unacceptable. Especially now we're in 2019, Carla. We should say Happy New Year to our listeners.
Oh, God. Yeah, sorry. Happy New Year. Yeah, 19.
Yeah.
Nearly 19 years ago that was. And yet, to me, feels like yesterday, 2000. I remember it well.
I bet you do.
But before we delve into that, we need to say who sent in this date.
We do.
And it was Jane via email, which was lovely, wasn't it? She bothered to contact us on email.
It was. We don't often get messages by email, so we were quite excited, weren't we?
Most people go through social media. I'd like it more if people actually wrote, like we get a PO box number and someone put pen to paper.
Well, it was nice because we had a little back and forth with Jane, so it was almost like a letter.
Yeah, you had a lovely chat with her, didn't you?
Yeah, it's very nice.
This one is for Kate, who is Jane's daughter, so she was born on this date. We're going to go straight in to the number one song. It's a good one. It's Oops, I Did It Again by Britney.
Is it a good song, Carla?
Okay, I've always thought the middle bit is really weird because when she does that talky bit, I'm not sure if it's meant to be funny or I'm not sure what that bit is. However, it's a classic pop song.
It is. I think it's supposed to be funny.
It's hard, isn't it, with Britney, because you don't really know whether she understands what's going on at any point around her.
So true.
Me and my friend always laughed about this when she guested on The X Factor. You know, just came on and did her song, and Dermot O'Leary went up and spoke to her, and she'd obviously been told what she was going to be asked, so she had like answers already ready, and he must have said something in the wrong order because he said, "Who's your favourite tonight?" And she said, "Yes, I love London."
I do remember her being on there, and I do remember it being really awkward to watch, but I don't remember the specifics.
I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really understood the whole Britney phenomenon. I don't understand why you would go to a Britney concert when you know damn well she's lip syncing. Because I understand she puts on a good show, but she's not that good a dancer.
I guess we were just a little bit too old by the time she came out to really be swept up in it. At that point, we were all into indie and rock and not really listening to a whole lot of pop.
Not my cup of tea. She's fine. She's done well for herself. She's got good people around her working for her, I think.
Well, I don't know, where were they when she was shaving her head?
No, oh, come on. That has done wonders for her.
Do you reckon that enhanced her career?
Oh, I think so. I think she was on the way out and people stood up and took an interest.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not saying they engineered it. I'm just saying they didn't necessarily stop her.
Well, she did have an umbrella in her hand, as far as I remember. Wasn't she hitting the paps with it? She was like a bald Mary Poppins.
She was like a woman possessed with her umbrella.
I found it quite shocking when I saw that on the front pages. I felt a bit sorry for her. Maybe you're right. Maybe everyone did.
No. Don't get me wrong. I think she had a breakdown of some description. I just think people didn't stop her from having a breakdown.
Oh, they're mercenary, aren't they, these people?
They are.
That's that done. The number one film on this date was Gladiator.
Now, I loved this film back in the day.
Well, this came out, sorry, whilst we were still working together literally just because I left in the August and I think you left as well. Was that your last summer or had you just left in the Easter?
Yeah, no, I'd left it. Yeah, it must have been Easter.
So maybe we just parted
Yeah.
ways when this came out, and that's why I don't have fond memories of it.
Maybe it's a bit too much to.
It's bringing it all back. It's come flooding back to me.
It's all coming back to me now.
Yet another Celine Dion song title we've chucked in.
I should do that. Maybe I should do Celine Bingo and see how many Celine Dion song titles I could chuck into the podcast. Please submit your Celine Dion song titles for me to chuck into the podcast, and I'll see what I can do.
Anyway, back to the film. I don't have much to say on this. I remember watching it; it was all right. I don't think I've ever watched it since. Not my bag.
No, I liked it. I don't know what was wrong with me, but I did really quite fancy Russell Crowe. When I went to Universal Studios, oh, what have I done? I've just given you an in, haven't I?
Universal Studios. Can I just mention at this point? Can I just pop in and say that
How do I do it? I always set it up for you.
That I host another podcast called Theme Park Films, and we cover all films that are immortalised in theme parks, and Universal Studios in LA and Orlando is featured very, very heavily. So head on over to Spotify, Podbean, iTunes for Theme Park Films. Thank you.
No, but finish listening to this one first.
Yeah.
Anyway, I remember when I went to Universal Studios, they had a life-size cutout of Russell Crowe. So I was very excited about posing next to the life-size cutout.
Okay. Was he in Gladiator attire?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why was it there? I guess because it was made by Universal, but did they have props or was it just a cutout?
No, I think it was just standing outside one of the shops.
Oh, what, could you buy him maybe?
No, because if you could have bought it, I probably would have done.
Imagine you trying to get that back on the plane.
I would have had to buy a seat for him and everything.
You would have been like one of those mental people that marries an object. Like you would have married a cardboard cutout.
But I thought it was a very, very good film. You remember they made all the fuss about how well this set was built and all of the work that they did. I mean, you have to appreciate the art of that film.
I have a connection in a way to that film. A very loose connection.
Oh, here we go.
No, my mum's friend's husband built the set for Gladiator. Not just him. He had help.
I was going to say, not just a one-man band building that set.
He had to spend several months abroad and, yeah, he built it.
Does he? I was going to ask a stupid question. He does that for a living, and that's
his. Yeah, he also got me. He built the set for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the new one, and gave me his press passes, so I was able to go into the premiere. So yeah, he gets. He does a lot of the big films, but I think Gladiator was one of his favourites because he got to be abroad for a long time.
It's a shame that he gave you his press pass for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory of all films.
The thing was, when it was announced it was being made, I was a bit younger then and not so cynical about remakes or whatever. And I was just so excited because Willy Wonka was one of my favourite films. And I thought Johnny Depp at the time was really cool. And I was like, this is going to be brilliant. I had no idea he was going to play it like he did.
It's been on television a lot just lately. And I was watching a little bit of the other day and I was thinking how creepy it was. I wondered if I'd misremembered it, but no, I remembered it exactly how it is.
No, he played it like a predator with a lady's haircut. It was the weirdest thing.
That is a good claim to fame.
You got nothing else to say on Gladiator?
No, I don't have a lot more to say on Gladiator. Although I just think it was quite a cutting-edge film for its time.
I think a lot of people would agree that it was a cutting-edge film. I think it still appears on like the IMDb lists of the greatest film ever made and stuff, doesn't it?
There's IMDb lists of that kind of thing?
Yeah, where people vote for like the greatest film. Like Shawshank Redemption's been at number one for a million years. For a while, it looked like Batman Begins might take over Shawshank and everyone was going mental and all the comic book people were like voting in their droves. You know, like the people that vote for Doctor Who several times on the TV Choice Awards where they go and make 25 email accounts just so they'll win every category.
Oh, really?
Shawshank was considered like the the proper People's Choice, and then you had a wave of people voting for Batman Begins.
Oh God.
And I don't know, I've never seen it. I've heard it's very good.
I think this is a side note, but with sequel films, they really need to make the name of the film more distinct one from the other, because like it's Avengers, for example, it's Avengers Assemble or Avengers Infinity War, and they're all called something very similar, and I couldn't tell you which ones I've seen and which ones I haven't. Same with Batman.
But we don't really watch comic book films anyway, so do we need to worry ourselves?
Probably not.
No, I don't think we do. It's not going to come up, is it? I'm not going to sit there and think, oh my God, what Avengers film I'm going to watch. None of them.
Do like the what are the ones with the mutant ones? What are they?
Turtles?
No, I knew that's what you were going to say. With James McAvoy and Patrick Stewart and Ian, what's he doobie?
Sir Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
What's a doobie? It's a sir.
Sorry. Sir Ian McKellen. You know the ones I'm talking about. What are they called?
X-Men.
X-Men, there you go.
Okay.
Oh,
that was painful.
I'm suitably chastised, Carla.
Right. So on this day, from the TV guide, I chose EastEnders. Doof, 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 doof. I have watched EastEnders, taking away the last year, which I won't go into, but up until the last year, I had watched every episode of EastEnders from 1985.
When did it start?
1985.
Oh, so you've seen it from the beginning?
Yeah, I watched it from the start. And even when we used to go on holiday, my dad used to tape them all, and then we'd get back and just watch them back to back, all the ones that we'd missed.
Did he tape the Sunday Omnibus?
No, that would have saved time, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, hindsight's a wonderful thing.
It really is. That would have saved all that time in on the old timer.
That must have taken him ages.
He used to sit there, bless him, programming it in on the timer for like 3 times a week or whatever. He could have just done one.
Sorry, if I'd have known, I would have told you.
Well, it didn't bother me. I was off playing somewhere, leaving him to it. I didn't care. There's no reason I wouldn't be watching it now had I not lost my way with it, but I will get back into it. Great show.
It's funny because we were talking about this on Christmas Day. I used to be an avid watcher of EastEnders, and I don't watch it anymore, but I always like catching it on Christmas Day. Christmas
Day isn't really Christmas Day without EastEnders, because it's just the doom and the misery, and something horrific happens to someone. It all kicks off in the Vic. It's what Christmas is all about in England,
isn't it? There's always a fight. Someone's normally had an affair with somebody else.
Yeah.
What more could you ask for? Well, you know my claim to fame when it comes to EastEnders, don't you?
Oh, are you going to reveal it? I didn't know you were going to reveal that. How exciting. Let's let the listeners know, because I think it is really exciting.
Well, don't build it up too much.
It's really exciting.
Steve McFadden, who plays Phil Mitchell in EastEnders, is my mum's cousin's son. That makes him like my third cousin.
Doof, 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 doof. Your third cousin with a Mitchell brother.
Yeah.
That is definitely the coolest thing about you.
Yeah, thanks.
No, you're welcome.
My second EastEnders claim to fame.
Oh, here we go. Loads, isn't there? Someone that don't watch it. Go on.
Yeah, but it's not as good as the first one, but I think I told you this the other day anyway.
I'm going to act surprised that I don't know what's coming.
So my mum ushers at the local theatre, and they've got a panto on at the moment, seasonal panto.
Pantomime is, do we tell people what pantomime is? Should do, really.
Yeah, we should explain.
Pantomime in England is a play that's very silly, that goes on over the Christmas period only. So it's normally like November to January. I don't know. How else should we explain pantomime?
Well, and there's always, the children always shout key phrases at the stage, and it's always some kind of fairy tale.
Yeah. There you go. That's all you need to know. And there's always celebs in it. There's always a celeb, which I mean, I don't know if this is headed towards there might be a celeb in the one that Zoe's going to talk about, because I've not heard the story.
There is a celebrity connection, Carla, because Cheryl Ferguson, who used to play Heather.
Ev.
Was she Ev? It was Ev, wasn't it? Ev or Eva?
Well,
Ev.
everyone used to call her Heather, apart from
Shirley.
Love Shirley, one of the greatest characters ever. Used to call her Ev.
Yeah. So Ev is playing some kind of fairy, I want to say.
Okay.
In Jack and the Beanstalk. I'm not sure what the story is. You know, that's the other thing with pantos. They used to stick quite well to this, you know, the traditional story, and nowadays they go off piste completely. So anyway, she's playing this fairy, I think, and I went in and watched a little bit of the panto with my daughter, but we left because she was trying to fall asleep, bless her, and every time the kids were shouting, "He's behind you," at the stage, she was woken up. So I took her out. But as we were leaving, we passed Cheryl Ferguson on the stairs. Took me quite by surprise because I thought I'd taken the wrong turn. I thought I'd gone backstage. But no, apparently that's where she enters in her full outfit. And she grabbed Esme's hand and she went, "Oh, hello, cutie." And then she went on stage.
Wow, what a great story. Even better the second time I heard it.
Oh.
I can't wait for the edit when I can hear it a third time. Lots of claims to fame with EastEnders. I've got a couple, not as good as yours.
Oh, yeah, okay, go.
Well, you know Lindsay Dawn McKenzie, the glamour model?
Yes. Not personally, but you do, I know.
I know her personally. I went to school with her. Very nice lady, or nice girl as she was then. And she's always been very, smiley and polite to me. She went out with a couple of EastEnders people, and I used to see them. And my mum used to, in her old job, she used to look after older people, and she looked after Lindsay's nan. So she met a couple of Lindsay's boyfriends, and one was Dean Gaffney, who played Robbie, and the other one was Beppe, Michael Greco. Both very pleasant, apparently. So there you go. More EastEnders links. If you've got an EastEnders link, if you can beat third cousin of a Mitchell, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, I will. But you could probably beat passing Heather on the stairs.
Yeah, but can you beat knowing a glamour model that's been out with two EastEnders people?
No.
So I will just quickly say, actually, as part of the Britpod scene, we have a variety of podcasts, and one of them is called EastEnders Weekly, and it's a fantastic show where every week they delve into what's just happened the previous week on EastEnders, and I've still been listening to that even though I've fallen out with what's happening a little bit, because it's a great recap and very, very funny and entertaining. And they've had an interview recently with someone that was on EastEnders as well.
Well, that's good. It keeps you up to speed with what's going on then, so you don't need to watch it.
Absolutely. So go and check out EastEnders Weekly after listening to this show and after listening to all 53 episodes of Theme Park Films. Thanks.
In that order, yeah.
Yeah, obviously. What is your choice of the day for today?
Well, I've chosen Through the Keyhole.
I
know, it is one of those shows that makes you sigh, isn't it?
Yep.
Let's clear a few things up here, Carla. For those people who don't know Through the Keyhole was and still is a show where celebrities, I say celebrities in inverted commas sometimes, give access to their houses, and somebody walks around their house and gives clues as to who lives there. And then a celebrity panel has to ask questions and they get claps from the audience if they get it right. And then they have to guess who lives in that house. Back in 2000, before it was kind of rebooted recently, it was presented by David Frost, who he's quite a serious person. So it's an interesting thing that he used to present Through the Keyhole.
It wasn't humorous, was it, back then?
No.
I think, you know what it comes back to? What we always go on about, in that back in the day, celebrities weren't splashed around on the newspaper. You didn't see what celebrities really live like. You didn't see them when they were off. You only saw them at photo shoots and blah, blah, blah. So to actually see where a celebrity lived was a big deal then.
Yeah, I think you're right. You didn't have as many OK shoots and things like that.
No, definitely not. So to actually see a glimpse of the real celebrity was quite interesting, I think.
Hmm.
And I think that's why they had to reboot it as more of a comedy thing, because it wouldn't just work on the wow factor now.
No. So David Frost would be presenting it, and then Lloyd Grossman, him of the pasta sauces fame. But I don't know what he's originally famous for.
So it's always been around food, isn't it?
Is it?
I'm not sure.
Anyway, Lloyd Grossman used to be the person who would walk around the houses, and he had this catchphrase where he'd say, "Would live in a house like this."
David, it's over to you.
You.
He did like a really weird.
Because he's Canadian or something like that, isn't he?
Is it Canadian? It's a really weird accent. It's not a normal Canadian accent, is it?
I feel like it's French Canadian, but I'm completely making that up.
Let's go with that.
Anyway, that was the best thing about it, because you would...
You were just waiting for him to say that.
Yeah. Oh no, he's American. I'm talking rubbish. Oh, apparently his mid-Atlantic accent reflects his Boston origins as well as the many years he spent in the UK. I can't recall the kinds of celebrities that lived there. Can you remember any?
I think that they were fairly of the time. Like, I mean, not A-list. We're not talking about they went into Hollywood houses, but, you know, like maybe, I don't know, Sarah Green or...
Okay, yeah, that kind of person.
Fern Britton or, you know, like well-known presenters.
Or someone like Sonia.
Great.
Yeah. Would be, wouldn't it? Someone like Sonia. And she'd have like her gold discs on the wall.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's been rebooted recently by Keith Lemon. I could take it or leave it, to be honest. The rebooted version.
I don't know how he has kept Keith Lemon up for so long.
Well, I think he's just become Keith Lemon now.
I mean, where does it end between him and Keith Lemon? Because if you look at Lee Francis, who played Keith Lemon, on Twitter, he gets quite uppity with people if they tweet him and call him Keith or anything. He's always like, that's a character, that's not me, and like quite defensive.
Yeah, I saw something the other day where he said that I saw Keith Lemon the other day, or maybe I saw Lee Francis, and he replied saying, "I was with my family, so you saw Lee Francis." Weird.
Well, it is a bit, because I don't think he can blame people for confusing the two, because he doesn't even do interviews as himself. Like, you never see him as himself.
Yeah.
Anyway, where can people find us, Zoe, if they would like to be like Jane and send in a date?
So we can be found on social media on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at Number One Rerun. Or if, like Jane, you'd like to contact us personally, our email address is numberonererun@hotmail.com.
Perfect. And as I mentioned, we are the proud creators of Britpod Scene, so head over to @Britpod Scene on Twitter, where everything we retweet are the shows we endorse. And any date you like, so we didn't mention, it has to be from 1978 till present day, because we're only doing our lifetime.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Now that we're in 2019, we've only gone and added another year on that we can do. We can cover 41 years now.
Get us. We didn't even have to do anything to make that happen. We just had to just sit it out. I've got a question though. Do you think we've done this justice for Jane? Because it's quite an important day, you know.
Kate's birthday. I'm sorry, Kate, if we haven't done it justice, and I'm sorry, Jane. I think best apologise.
I know. Beg forgiveness. It's the best way to go.
We tried, but if if Kate wants to get in touch and give us a different date, if she wants to get one up on Mum and go one better.
Yeah, she could choose a date for Mum. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
That'd be lovely. Wouldn't that be lovely?
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very, very much for listening, and we shall see you in the next one.
Thank you. Bye.
Number One Rerun podcast is part of Britpod Scene, an independent network of uniquely British podcasts that's always growing. Check out BritpodScene.com or follow Britpod Scene on Twitter to find out more.